Hey, my name's Brian, and this is Chords on the Couch. Today, we're going to learn the guitar solo for To Be With You by Mr. Big. Here's a clip of me playing it. It's really well written, and it's a Paul Gilbert solo that we actually have a chance of playing, so let's learn it. Go ahead and start with an E major chord. What I do is I picture it like an E major, I just release my middle finger. So I am left with the first finger on the first fret of the G string, and my ring finger is on the second fret of the D, and I play those together like two voices singing in harmony. By the way, you'll notice that I'm using a pick today. Paul Gilbert actually finger picks this solo, but I just prefer to play it with a pick. It's totally up to you. You can do either or. So we're going to play those two notes together, and then what you do is you walk up the E major scale. And don't worry, you don't have to know major and minor scales or anything like that. Just remember the fret numbers. So I'm on the fourth fret of the D string, and I'm on the second fret of the G. Okay, and let's play those two voices together. That's what it should sound like if you've got your guitar and you're checking your notes. So now you know why I started with these two fingers on the second and first fret. It looks a little awkward, but it's actually setting us up for the future. And that's something you can think about when you're playing songs or solos. Sometimes you can change the fingering a little bit and make things a lot easier. So play those two voices together, then they're going to walk up together on the fourth and the second fret, and then you just move that position up to 6 and 4. Now that's the first bit I would practice. Let's make sure those voices can walk up the scale together. Start that slowly and work up your speed. Now, once you get there, we can move on to the next part. Go ahead and hold the 6th and the 4th fret on the D and G strings. That's where we left off. And then what you're going to do is grab the 5th fret of the B string with your middle finger. You should get that note if you're in standard tuning. By the way, I should have mentioned that this song is in standard tuning. So we're going to do the walk up with those harmony voices, and we're going to finish with that middle finger note on the 5th fret of the B string. That follows the lyric exactly to the chorus. So I'm the one who. That's what it should sound like. All right, if you've got that far, let's move on to the next bit. Right after that, we're actually going to move those harmony voices up even further. So 7th fret D string, 6th fret G, and you're going to play them together. So that comes actually right after this 5th fret note. So there's going to be a little bit of a jump there for your middle finger. It's going to have to jump from the B string to the G string, okay? And let's go back. I won't continue to do this throughout the video, but just for now, I want to keep referring back to the beginning so you can get the context of this latest part that we've learned. So remember, we're going to end up here on 7 and 6. So we walk up first, and there's that middle finger jump. One more time. I'm the one who wants to. All right, that's as far as we've gone. All right, now we're on 7 and 6. For the next part, we're going to do a bit of a stretch. Okay, so get ready for this one. It's going to be the D and the G strings once again, but you're going to be on the 7th fret of the D, and you're going to be on the 4th fret of the G. So those notes have a really interesting sound together. The stretch doesn't last long, so if you're having a little trouble with it, be gentle with your hand and with yourself. You'll get it eventually. Okay, so it's going to be 7 and 6, 7 and 4. All right, and that's going to be the one who wants to, and then we're going to go be with you. Next bit for be with you is 4th fret, a little bit of a bar with your pointer finger. It's across the D and the G strings. A lot of this solo centers around those 2 strings, the middle strings really. Go ahead and play that. So it's 4th fret and 4th fret. Your pick just has to be really accurate. Make sure you don't get any other strings or anything, just those 2. Be with you, okay? With is going to be, once again, the 6th fret and the 4th fret. We did this combination earlier, but this time it's different. This time you want to hold the bar that you've got with your pointer finger, and I'm going to show you why. So we've got the 7 and 6, the stretch, the bar, harmony we've seen before, but now he's going to hammer on from the 4th fret to the 6th fret. 4th fret to 6th fret is a hammer on the D string, okay? What you have to make sure of as the player is that the 4th fret you've got on the G string rings out for both of those notes. What you've got to make sure of is that when you play that hammer on, you're getting both the hammer on and the note above it, which is the 4th fret of the G string. That's one of the trickier bits, okay? So make sure you spend a minute practicing that. All right, now that we have basically the first line of the chorus, so I'm the one who wants to be with you. Let me go ahead and play that slowly so you can see the whole thing. Okay, so that's part 1 of 4. So let's look at part 2. The good news is that some of the work we did to learn part 1 is going to pay off now. Part 2 starts the same way. Deep inside, I hope. All right, I'm using the lyrics to kind of show you how this goes. But all of that is something we already learned, okay? Let's look at where it differs. You feel it too. That's the next bit of the chorus. What's going to happen is instead of the stretch here, we're actually going to go from the 7th fret and the 6th fret notes. We're going to jump to 5th fret and 4th fret on the B and high E strings respectively. Okay, so it's going to be hope you feel it too. That's coming up. Okay, so let's work on that a little bit because that's a change. Let me show you the whole thing. This is part 2 of the solo. See how I jumped up there? All right, so let's keep going. Here's where Paul deviates. He's been following the lyric melody really closely up until now. Here he's going to get a little fancy, okay? So after these 2 notes together, 4th and 5th fret, we're going to go back to the 2nd fret. All right, and this part's going to be a little fancy, so let me just show it to you first. Okay, once more. So what I did there was I'm going to do a 2nd fret on the high E string, hammer on to the 4th fret, pull off to the 2nd fret, pull off to the 1st fret, and then pick the B string and E string. So once more, I'm going to do 2nd fret, hammer on, pull off, B string, E string. Definitely give that part some attention. Even though you're not picking a lot of the notes there, you want them to sound really strongly and confidently. Okay, so make sure you work on that part. Now, once we get that open B and E string picked, we're actually going to pick them together again. So it's going to go. Really cool. It's a fancy part. It'll impress anyone you're playing the solo for. Now, after those two open strings of the B and E, this is where Paul with his thumb snaps that low open E. Okay, I'm not snapping it too hard because I don't want to hurt your ears on the microphone. And even when I played it for social media, I didn't pick it all that hard. And maybe I should have. When you play it, I encourage you to get ambitious and really snap that thing. But let's combine that with the fancy part. Okay, it's really cool. So let's play the entirety of part 2. Remember, it starts the same way. Jumps up, fancy, low E. That brings us to part 3. Now, part 3 and 4 for me don't have like a clear line, so I'll do the best I can to describe this, but let's just look at the individual sections. Once again, he's going to do the walk-up of those harmony voices. See, learning that at the beginning was well worth it. Now, you'll notice there that I actually did go to the stretch part again this time. Okay, we did that before, skipped it in part 2 to go somewhere new, and now we're back to it. Okay, so we've got all that we've previously learned. Now, after that, you're going to do some 3-note chords, actually. So after the stretch, we're going to slide up to the 9th fret of the D string. We're then on the 8th fret of the G, and then the 7th fret of the B. And we're going to play that together. After that, simply move your ring finger up even more to the 11th fret of the D string. And then we're going to do another one of these 2-string bars with our pointer finger. And that's going to be on the 9th fret of the G and the B. So this should sound like that. It's got kind of a minor, darker, sadder sound. So let's look after the stretch. And you'll notice that minor chord, I played it twice, okay? So let's look at part 3 again from the beginning. That brings us to this kind of faster run up the scale. Here's a little tip. This minor chord, you're going to play that twice, and you're going to want to try to let that ring as long as you possibly can. But I will say you're going to have to let it go to give yourself time to slide up into this faster lick part, okay? So that's going to be something that you have to pay some attention to. All right, let's look at that lick, because this is the most fun part of the song. What I do is, after I play this, I slide off it, and I kind of just slide up into the 11th fret on the A string from somewhere. I'm not precise on this, and I think it sounds cooler if you're not. So just kind of come from somewhere, okay? It's going to be that lick first, or that note first, and then it's going to be 9, 11 on the D string. Then it's going to be 9 on the G string. Okay, so really cool. And then what I do is I grab this with my pinky, 12th fret of the B string. Okay, it's actually a little bit unusual that all of this is pretty predictable and pentatonic if you're familiar with that. If you're used to playing any kind of basic guitar scales, this is really like common. But this part, going from this 9th fret note to this 12th fret note on a different string, is actually like something you might not be used to. And I think that's why it sounds so cool. So that is one you're going to want to practice. Okay, now after you've done that, you're going to play the 9th fret again. And this time, you're going to go to the 10th fret on the B string. Okay, so let's do that lick from the beginning. Now, if you got that far, you're probably past the fastest part of the solo, the one that might trip up your picking the most. So good for you. Let's go ahead and finish this thing off, okay? So after you get that far, you're gonna go to the 9th fret on the B string. And what this does is it just climbs up the notes of the scale. 9, 10, 12. And I like to slide off of that 12th fret note. And the reason I like to do that is because it sets me up to slide up to the 9th fret of the G string. Okay, you can hear me sliding down and then back up. Down off the 12th fret and then up into the 9th fret note. Okay, and then you're just simply going to finish off with 11. So the whole lick. It's an awesome lick. It's really good for your picking, and it's a ton of fun to play. And if you hit it, it's going to sound great. So let's look at that whole part, because this is really where the solo gets kind of complicated. So part 3, stretch, chords, lick, that's the whole thing if you can hit it. Now after that, you're going to go to the 5th and 4th fret again on the B and high E strings. We've seen this before. After the fast lick, you go right there, and then he's going to finish off with that same fancy lick that we learned earlier. Now the only difference is, right here is where we would hit the 2 open strings, right? But instead of hitting the open strings, he's going to do harmonics on the 12th fret. If you haven't done harmonics before, all you do is just gently touch them. Rather than pushing the notes down and getting them like that, you just gently touch them. Just let the string touch your skin, and you're going to get notes that ring out even when you let go. After the fast lick, the 2 strings together that we've done before, and then you're going to do your fancy bit, then the harmonics. Okay, if you got that far, there's only one more thing left to do, and that's grab the G string on the 11th fret, and you're going to slide up to 13. Now the secret here is, after you hit the harmonics, can you do this while the harmonics keep on ringing? That's the key to that last bit. And believe me, that is harder to do than you think it is. It's very common to touch the high E string, and it'll stop ringing if you do that. When you put your middle finger here, or whatever finger you choose for the slide up, it's very common to touch the B string and stop it from ringing. So that little part right there that seems so easy, trust me, you're gonna mess it up plenty. So you really want to try to find the perfect spot on your finger and get there every time. I basically bring my hand up more off of the fretboard than I usually do, just to get it out of the way. There we go. I try to just get it way out of the way, and I even angle it a little bit, I don't know, it's almost like I'm pointing to the bridge of the guitar. I usually don't do that. Usually my hand is facing up. Okay, so there's some interesting choices you have to make to get that last bit. So let's look at it from the quick lick. See, I hit one of the harmonic notes and it went away. But that's basically how that last bit should go. Let's reflect on the whole solo. I'll see if I can play it correctly and give you an idea once again of how it should look and sound. Okay, so there it is. I hope that's helpful. I hope you learn the solo. If you do, my email is right on my YouTube profile. Send me a video of you playing it if you learned it from me. That would really make my day. So enjoy, and I'll see you in the next video.